Okay. Okay. Here, the next topic is of measurement of energy. What is the energy equation? If I ask, what you can tell? Energy is going to be taken as power into time. Means the energy is going to be measured how much the power it is going to be consumed by the device. The device is like a load. Okay, the device with respect to the time, that point we tell as a energy, and the unit of energy is joules, and the unit of power is a watt, and time in terms of second we are going for. And again here equation, here it is taken, that is E is equals to integration 0 to time, with respect to time how much the power it is going to be consumed into dt, that I can write as power is in terms of voltage and current. For that reason VI into dt, voltage in volts, and that is I in terms of amperes, current in amperes. Okay, and here is I shown a small picture of the energy meter. In our homes we will be using of this energy meter. How the construction is of your energy meter? It is of a digital display is there, and here it is of a disc is there, right? This disc will be rotating always. This based on the revolutions, means how many times it's going to be rotating based on the supply, means the supply in terms of how much the power is consumed in your home, right? The based on that we will be measuring how much the bill it will be producing per month. We are going to calculate by the capital person, he will be coming and he will be checking of that. Okay, he will be giving the bill for you, how many revolutions are going for based on the time. Okay, this is the energy meter. This is in a outer construction. What is the inner construction? Here we are going to use of, this is a inner construction of the energy meter, where it is consisting of a voltage coil. Observe here, they same as a wattmeter connection, but with respect to time we have to measure of that. This is your voltage coil, and these are current coils, and this is your copper shading ring. Observe here, this small construction we call this as a copper shading ring, and this is your gear train to dial. Here the meter reading that is going right to rotate the disc, we are going for this construction. And this is your magnetic brake, means this brake means it is going to stop when it is touched to the disc, it will be stopping that is a braking circuit we call this. Then rotating aluminum disc, this disc what it is there, it is of the construction. The disc is nothing but this is the disc for you. This is what the internal connection of the energy meter. This is about the how we are going to use of the energy meter. But the design of this energy meter, in the previous days the meter will be different, and nowadays it's of a digital one, right? The design it's going to be changed by one decade to the another decade. The person who is going to design the energy meter from one country to the another country, it will be different. If it is a high advanced one, we will buy that meter from the outside to the inner side. These are some economy way it's going off. Okay, no need of worrying of those, just we go with the why we are learning of this. Okay, the next topic is of errors and adjustments. When I'm going to use this disk, the whole energy meter, where and all we are coming across the errors. The error may be due to the voltage, or may be due to the current, or else the disk what is going to be used, or else the braking system is that a proper or not. When a supply is given, whether the disk is rotating or not, if the power supply is not there, still if it is the disk is rotating means there is a loss for us, right? Like this some errors are there, we will be learning one by one. This is errors and adjustments. The when the error is going to be occurring, at what time the error is going to be occurred in the energy meter, due to, here it has I taken mainly because of inaccurate phase angles, that is one point, and second one is the abnormal frequencies and the effect of temperatures. This is a common error where is going to occur. These are the, due to these factors, error is going to be occurring. Along with this, there is one more errors in terms of a braking system. Braking system also can cause the error because of due to change in the strength of the braking magnet, because in the construction this is in a magnet, right? There may be the material what you are going to use in the construction of a magnet. If it is a proper one, then it will be good, the material what you are going to use of that, okay? Or else it is no use of that, okay? The strength of the braking magnet and change in the resistance, change in the resistance of the disc. Observe here, resistance of the disc and abnormal friction of moving disc, means abnormal, it will be always rotating, the disc will be always rotating. Based on this, the disc material may be somewhat it's not working properly, means it will touch to the other device where this construction is done. Due to that, a friction is going to be occurring there. Due to the friction, again a error is going to be exhibiting in the energy meter. Like this, there will be many points. For that reason, etc means extras, okay? So how to avoid this? To get accurate reading, these errors are going to be reduced. It's going to be compensated or it may be reduced, okay? Hence, some adjustments are provided in the energy meter to minimize these errors. This is what the introduction, how the errors are going to be introduced and how we have to compensate for those. That is about errors and adjustments. In that, the first one, it's going to be taken as lag adjustment or power factor adjustment. This, the lag adjustment means, what do you mean by lag? Where you learnt of the lag and lead, right? In the previous also we gone through. If the lagging factor should be with the current coil and your pressure coil, it should be in a precise value. The angle between the pressure coil and current coil, the lagging, yes, the based on that we have to check whether it is lagging properly or not. When the derivation we come across, we told that it's going to be lagging by theta minus pi, right? That pi value, that angle should be in a proper way so that I can avoid the errors. Now we will see what is the things are going to be undergoing in the lag adjustments, okay? It is absolutely necessary that meter should measure correctly. Yes, it should measure correct value for all power factor. Our meter should read for all power factor, unity power factor or else low power factor. Condition of the loads. How much the load is going to be introduced for the energy meter, it should read for all the power factor.
Okay.
Next, we are going for this is possible. How we can do of this? This is going to be possible when it is going for flux produced due to the current. Flux produced due to the current in the pressure coil. Understand here? Flux produced due to the current in the pressure coil. It should lag the applied voltage by 90 degree. This is very important. It should lag by 90 degree. Then only the meter is going to be working properly. But it's not possible. Why? But the iron loss, the whole watt meter what we are going to use, it is having the iron. It's instrument what is the material we are going to use? It's of iron only. Because of that, but the iron loss and resistance, iron loss and the resistance of winding do not allow the flux, do not allow the flux to lag by exact 90 degree. What is in theory we are telling, it should lag by 90 degree. But due to the iron loss and due to the resistance of the winding. It's not possible to get a 90° of the lagging. How it is going to be minimized? This whole, the next point is the arrangement used to adjust this angle to be 90°. It's to be 90°. We call that as, what we are calling of that? This is of a lag adjustment. Okay, these 2 points are important. Why we are going for the lag adjustment? This is your lag adjustment. A magnetic shunt circuit is introduced in the device. Srishti, able to hear?
Yes, sir. There's the disturbance.
Disturbance is there, right? Just wait here.
ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಮಾಡಲ್ ಎರಡು ಮಾಡಲ್ ಹಾಕಿದ್ರೆ ಎರಡು ಮಾಡಲ್ ನೋಟ್ಸ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ಲಸ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ವೆಬ್ಸೈಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನೀವು ಡೌನ್ಲೋಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಬೋದು ಈಗ ತಗೋಬಹುದು ಓಕೆ ಏನಾರ ಇದು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ಅವನ್ನ
Okay. Now able to listen now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, right. Okay, I will start. Able to understood these points, right? What I highlighted here?
Yeah, ma'am, understood.
Understood, right? Oh, then I will go for next. Where I stopped. Okay. This is due to get a difference, that is angle between the pressure coil. It should lag by 90°. That to get that we are giving the name as lag adjustment. Then a magnetic shunt circuit is introduced. We are going to do this lag adjustment. We are going to use magnetic shunt circuit is introduced in the device which allows the main portion of the shunt magnetic flux to bypass the gap in which the disc rotates. I will show this. Okay, here this is our magnetic, the whole construction is going for, this is your current coil and this is your voltage coil. Here what is going for, in this case here we are going for extra windings. I will show the next, here you will be understanding. The disc rotates. It is possible to produce an MMF, magneto-motive force, in proper phase relation to the shunt magnet flux to bring, that is pi SH, due to the magnetic field, that is shunt magnetic field, the flux, it is going to be taken as pi SH, that is pi P is in exact quadrature with the voltage. This is, here it is taken. What I explained in the points, it's of a shunt coil. This is shunt coil is, this shunt coil is going to be, this is extra connection we are going to do. Okay, this is our IP and this is your IL due to a load. Okay, from this flux it will be producing the IPT due to the resistance, which is the internal connection. This is your lag coil. Okay, it is there in the circuit. The extra coil we are going to use here is of a shunt coil. That's what, due to the shunt coil the magnetic shunt flux is going to be generating of that. That's what here it is taken as pi SH. Okay, it will be here pi P. Okay, and this is our disc. When a current is passing from the coil and it's going to be introduced to the disc, then our disc starts rotating, right? When it is coming to the disc, when it is reaching to the disc, how much the current and voltage it has to be given so that our disc starts rotating. We have to control our angle, it should be 90 degree. It should be 90 degree. To do that, we are going to construct a one more coil, that is we call as a shunt coil. Due to this connection, again their flux is going to be generating here. From this, again flux is going to be generating. Okay, this flux, what it's going for? It is opposing to the one more flux which is generated by the lag coil. Due to these adjustments, within this only it's going to be adjusting, lag adjust. When it is larger, control that. Controlling operation is going to be done by using of the shunt coil. That's what we call lag adjustment. How it is going to be? Here it is shown with the phasor diagram. When it is larger, the delta is nothing but it's maybe a larger angle. Maybe in terms of, instead of 90 degree, it may go for the 100 degree. If it is of 100 degree, we have to pull down to 90 degree. If it is larging, pull down. If it is slowing, pull up. Like that we have to go for here. For that reason, pi p or pi sh, it may increase or it may decrease by this lag adjustment. This is what the phasor diagram it is showing. The theta is a degree, that is will be showing how much it is going to be changed. Okay. Here it is taken, theta is the lag angle adjusted by ampere turn ratio, that is ATL, due to the load. That's what this is the construction we are going for to adjust the 90 degree phase shift between the coils. Okay, this we call as a lag adjustment. Then next point, here it is taken, the same one. The lag coil is used in addition. This lag coil is used in addition to shunt coil. The lag coil is few turns of fairly thick wires placed around the central limb of the shunt magnet. The part of the shunt flux, here I am writing, the part of the shunt flux, that is pi p, links with the lag coil to induce an EMF. Due to this, it's going to induce the EMF. This produces a lag coil current, that is IL, and this is going to be this current is going to produce an magnetomotive force in terms of ampere turns ratio, that is ATL, in phase with the IL. Thus, what is going, due to this, what is going to happen? Now, the phase of pi p is decided by the combined MMF of the lag coil and shunt coil. How the pi p is going to be decided? This is important point. It is mainly decided by the magnetomotive force of the lag coil and the shunt coil. When resistance increases, current and MMF of the lag coil decreases. Of course, it's going to be decreasing, which decreases the value of the lag angle of the coil. Then pi sh lags behind the voltage by exactly 90 degree. This is how it is going to be done. Then instead of lag coil, what we can do for the some other methods we can go. That's what the next we are reading here. Lag coil and resistances. Many times a copper shading bands here, where we come across this copper shading ring or else band, we can call of that. Okay, here instead of lag coil and resistances, many times copper shading bands are placed on the central limb of the shunt magnet. These bands are going to be adjusted. How it is going to be adjusted? Here 2 points are taken. The first one is by moving these bands, that is copper shading bands. If I move it, changing, it is upper or else it is lower. Okay, bands along the axis of the central limb, the lag adjustment can be achieved. When bands are moved upwards, I hope you remember the construction what I shown in the previous. If it is moved upwards, the EMF induced in them increases, increasing the MMF produced. Hence, lag angle is increasing. When it is upwards, EMF is going to introduce, then it is increasing the EMMF, and again from the increasing MMF, the lag angle is going to be increases. This is one adjustment. When bands are moved down, when it is down, the MMF of the produced by the bands decreases. The MMF produced by the bands, it's going to be decreasing. So what about the lag angle? It is also going to be decreases. Thus, the pi SH can be brought in exact quadrature with the voltage V, Due to this, we are telling the lag adjustment as, it is also called as power factor adjustment. By using this, we can adjust the power factor, and also of the quadrature adjustment, in which quadrature you want, you can adjust, and also inductive load adjustment. We can tell the lag adjustment as by these three parameters also. Okay, this is about our lag adjustment. What we learned in the lag adjustment, first you have to write when it is going, what is the lag, where and how much the angle is going to be introduced. Then the construction what you are going to do, that we call as a lag adjustment. Then go for the figure, then you explain. We are going to use of the lag coil so that we can lag the difference the angle to the 90 degree by using of this. Then just explain the theory of that. Then go for, instead of going for the lag coil, I can use of the copper shading bands also. The copper shading bands, when it is upwards, the lag angle is going to be increases. When it is down, lag angle is going to be decreasing. These are the points you have to write in the lag adjustment. Okay. Next, we will go with the next one, that is the second one, light load adjustment or friction adjustment. When a friction is going to be introduced in the devices, when it is touching to the another, or else it may be a heavy loaded. Okay, based on that, a friction is going to be occurring in the circuit. Here we will go with in the energy meter how it is going for. Here, in spite of proper design of the bearings and registering mechanism, there is bound to exist some friction due to the bearing, means in sound. I think bearings you saw, I think. Due to that bearing, how much it should move in a proper fashion, the disc. But if it is not moving, means there may be some bearing is loose connection may be there, or else it may be tightly connected. Due to that, friction is going to be occurring in the device. Okay. Due to this, a speed of the meter gets affected. The disc will not rotate in a proper fashion. If it is tightly connected, or it may be fully loosed, means it will not rotate properly for that reason. That is what bearing we tell. Okay. A speed of the meter gets affected, which causes the error in the measurement of the energy. How it is going to be compensated, adjusted. Okay. To compensate this, a metallic loop or strip is provided between central limb of the shunt magnet and the disc. A metallic loop we are going to connect in between of the central limb of the shunt magnet and to the disc. Due to this strip, an additional torque, observe here, additional torque independent of the load, whatever may be the load, independent of the load is produced, which acts on the disc in the direction of rotation. Due to this construction, a additional torque is going to be introduced, and it is independent of the load. Okay, the home, how much the power it's going to be taking. A smaller home, it will take small load. If it is of bigger home is there, you will be using of fridges and ACs and all those things you will be using of that based on the load. It is independent of the load. The torque, how much it's going to be generating due to this construction. Based on that, our disc starts rotating. That's what the meaning of this. Load it is produced which acts on the disc in the direction of rotation. Which direction it has to move. Okay. This compensation for the friction and meter can made to read the accurately. This is going to be done. How it is going to be done? Here is the figure. We are going to use of the shading loop in between of the copper shading band. We are already gone with where it is copper shading band and to the disc. In between that we are going to connect with the one more loop, that is L2. Here it is taken. We call that as the shading loop. It is going to be, the friction is going to be avoided. Due to sometimes what it's going for, this copper shading band, it will directly touch to the disc. When it is directly touching to the disc means it will not rotate in a proper fashion. Maybe it will be slowly rotating, or else it may be fastly rotating. To avoid that extra adjustment we are going for, that we call as a shading loop. This is the thing. Next, the interaction between a portion of the flux which are shaded and unshaded, it depends, okay, by this loop, and the currents they induce, in the disc generates a small driving torque. Due to this, a small driving torque is going to be introduced, whose value can be adjusted by the lateral movement of the loop L2. It is a small torque is going to be introducing when we connect with the L2. That's what this point is telling. Then this additional torque overcomes the frictional error. Due to this torque, what is going to be introduced, it's going to avoiding the error. This torque is practically independent of the load. We told that thing in the previous only, and it depends on the line. It depends on the line voltage. Observe here, depends on the line voltage. Hence, it's going to be in a constant only. It will always, the disc will rotate in a constant manner, even though it is going to be introduced with the small torque. From this also a small torque is going to be introduced to the disc, but it's not that much affecting for the disc rotation. That's what the meaning here it is going to be taken. Next, the friction error is dominant at the rated voltage. It depends on the rated voltage and very low current. Low current at light loads. Okay, it depends on the rated voltage and very low current when it is a load connect. Based on the loads, how much is going to be connected. For light loads, it will be not depending. The shading loop can be moved laterally to adjust the speed to provide the necessary compensation. The shading loop we can adjust. If it is of a heavy load, it should rotate in a faster rate. If it is of light load, a small current is more than enough. I can adjust of that by using of the shading loop. This is our topic, that is light load adjustments or else friction adjustment. Next is a creeping adjustment. What do you mean by creeping? Name only telling, there is a sounding effect in the meter. That sounding effect, when it is going to be introduced, we come across here. In some meters, the disc rotates slowly and continuously when there is no load. Observe here, even there is no load, still our disc starts rotating in a slower fashion and continuously it is rotating. Is that a proper one? No. Without load, how it is going to be able to rotate, right? That. The rotation of the disc without any current through current coil. Due to the current coil and only due to the excitation of pressure coil. The disc, it starts rotating due to the current through the current coil and only due to the excitation of the pressure coil is called creeping. Hope you got the what do you mean by a creeping. Okay, this is due to the friction over compensation. Friction, if it is in a proper way, when it is properly connected with the shading loop, it will be good. If it is not properly connected, then our creeping will start affecting to the meter. The torque produced due to the light load adjustment may keep disc rotating due to the light load. Due to light load also, our disc starts rotating. Without a load connection also, it will be rotating slowly with some particular direction. Okay. Next, if the magnetic circuit is not symmetrical, if the magnetic circuit is not symmetrical, then also an unwanted driving torque is produced which keeps the disc rotating, which causes the creeping. There are three ways so that our creeping is going to be introduced. The first one is due to the current coil, and next one is due to the pressure coil, it will start rotating, and also due to the magnetic circuit. These are the three factors affecting so that our disc starts rotating slowly and continuously even without the load. Okay, how it is going to be prevented? Here it can be prevented. To prevent the creeping, two holes are drilled, means making two holes in the disc, that is with a degree of 180 degree opposite to each other. When the holes comes under the shunt magnetic pole, it's get acted upon by the torque opposite to its rotation. How it is done? Here is the hole in disc under shunt magnetic pole. Here we are going to drill the holes in the disc. This is the shunt magnet pole. Magnet pole means the poles what it's connected, right? That one. Due to the this hole, what's going for? An eddy current is going to be introduced. This eddy current is opposite to the current which is there in the disc. Okay, this eddy current is opposite to the flux what is going to be generated by the due to the magnetic poles. Okay, it is going to be this opposing. Eddy current is always opposing to the movement. Okay, that's what it's going to be done in the creeping adjustment. Creeping adjustment means it should not move, right? Slowly it is going to be continuously, the disc is rotating. We should oppose that rotation. For that reason, we are going to make a hole here. When a hole comes under the shunt magnet, the circular eddy current paths in the disc get distorted. This distortion is responsible to produce the torque. Observe here what I told. It is going to be producing a torque which is opposite direction, which is in the opposite direction to the rotation of the disc. What I explained, that's what here this point. Okay, this stops the creeping. The torque is not very large so as to cause the error. The torque what's going to be produced, it's not that much. Okay, cause the errors under normal operating condition. The torque which is going to be produced due to the adjustment, the holes what we made, it's not that much effective to the meter. This is about your creeping adjustment. Next, we go with the overload compensation. We are telling in the second one that light load should be there. Here we are telling that it should be in a heavy loaded. But what you have to do, we have to take based on the design. As a design, if I am going to design our energy meter, how much the power it's going to be taking and how much it is able to produce the result, the power result, how much it's going to consume, how much is able to read of that value. Okay, in the industry where if you go, there are many meters will be there, energy meters, big energy meters will be using. When we come for the homes, it will be small one. For that reason, based on the energy meter, we have to go with these all adjustments. Okay, and the fourth one is of what? That is what the overload compensation. In the overload compensation, what we can read here, when the disk rotates, in the field of series magnet, magnetic field under load condition, in terms of load condition, it cuts the series flux. Observe here, when disk rotates in the field of the series magnetic field under load condition, what it's going to do, it cuts the series flux, and dynamically an EMF is going to be introduced in the disk. Yes, it's a normal operation. This produces an eddy current. Yes, this is a leakage of current that we call as eddy current in the disk, which interacts with the series magnetic flux to produce braking torque. Observe here, due to the eddy current, it interacts with the series magnetic flux to produce a braking torque. This is proportional. This is directly proportional to the square of the current. This is called self-braking torque. Okay, this is a normal one. Okay, when it is going to be occurring, self-braking torque, and at large loads. Its value is very high, causing serious errors in the measurements. What we told, the braking suddenly, a meter, think of Srishti's designed a meter. The input what we are going to give for that meter, it may be of 10 watts it is going to be measuring. Okay, that meter is capable of to measure only of the 10 watts. Then Sachin will design his own energy meter. What he will be doing? He designed such a meter that meter can read the power of 100 watts. Okay, Srishti is going to be taken as 10 watts, and Sachin is going to be design his own meter of 100 watts. It is going to measuring, right? Minimum load, what we have to do? The load, it should be produce 10 watts only for the Srishti's design. For Sachin design, it should the load should be 100 watts. But if I interchange the loads, for Srishti, if I give measure your meter, it should measure 100 watts. Is that possible? No, right? In such cases, what is going? If I apply 100 watts to the meter, suddenly our meter stops because heavy load is connected for that, right? That's what the meaning, what it is telling for us. Okay, I hope you understood of this. Next, how it is going to be minimized. To minimize this braking torque, the full load speed of the disk, is kept very low, about 400 RPM. What we are telling, to avoid this braking torque, a full load, we only fixing that some other person who is expert in this, he will insist for Srishti and also for Sachin that you both design such a meter that how much the load it's going to be applied, your meter should rotate in a constant fashion. That's what here it is taken. That is, the full load speed of the disk is kept very low. The speed of the disk, it should be 440 revolution per minute, RPM. Okay, 40 revolution it should rotate. Then the current coil series flux is kept minimum. Due to this, the current coil series flux, okay, it's going to be kept in a minimum position compared to the shunt magnetic flux. Next, practically an overload compensating device in the form of A, saturable magnetic shunt, saturable magnetic shunt for the series magnet core is used. This magnetic core we are going to use. How it is going to be done? Here this is a magnetic shunt. It's going to be connected in between of the series magnet. What it is taken this point. Okay. We are going to use this design so that we can avoid of this overloading, this adjustment. Okay. Okay. Overload compensation we can done. Then at high loads, the magnetic shunt saturates and diverts. It's going to be saturating and also diverts the same of the series magnetic flux. Series magnetic flux, it's going to be diverting. Okay. This compensates for the self-breaking torque. This connection is going to be done so that I can avoid of self-breaking system. This is about the overload compensation. And next is due to the voltage compensation. When supply voltage varies, the energy meter can cause error. Yes, supply if it is changing means of course our energy meter will be showing some errors. Because due to the two reasons. The first one is of nonlinear magnetic characteristic of shunt magnet core due to the nonlinearity of the supply. Okay. Then the second one is the breaking torque, which is proportional to the square of the supply voltage. The breaking torque, which is directly proportional to the square of the supply voltage. Due to these two, error is going to be introduced. So how it is going to be compensated? The voltage compensation is provided by the saturable magnetic shunt, which diverts the same what we learnt in the previous. Diverts a large portion of the flux into the active path when the supply voltage increases. The same what we learnt in the previous, that is construction. This construction we are going to use here, that is magnetic shunt which diverts the large portion of the flux into the active path when supply voltage increases. The compensation can be provided by increasing the side limb of reluctance by providing holes in the side limbs. What we learnt in the previous, the same adjustment we are going for so that we can compensate for the voltage. This is the fifth one. And the sixth one is a temperature compensation. Yes, temperature is always introducing error in any of the devices. Here also it's going to be introducing, but here it is a small difference. Just go through these points. As temperature increases, yes, the resistance of the copper and aluminium parts increases. Yes, of course it's going to be increasing. This has the following effects. Due to this, some effects are going for here. The first one is small reduction in the shunt magnet flux. Yes, it is going to be reducing. Then reduction in angle of the lag between voltage and flux, that is pi p. Then reduction in torque produced by all shading bands. Copper shading band, the torque what is going to be introduced, it is also going to be reducing. Then what is the fourth one? Increases the eddy current. Eddy current is necessary for us? No. Eddy current should be there, but it's in a small path. Here what they are telling, due to the temperature it is increasing. Okay. Resistance of the path. Then the last one is a decrease in angle of lag alpha. This is alpha of the eddy currents. These are all the some effects are going for when temperature increases. These various effects, these are all the various effects, neutralize each other. This is what the interesting, right? These are all the effects are there. They neutralize by themselves only. Okay, neutralize each other, and hence error due to the temperature are not serious. In the energy meter, the temperature what it's going for, it's not that much serious, because here it is going to be reducing, again here it is increasing. If I compare those by itself only, they nullify of that. That's what here, they will neutralize each other. But at low lagging power factor, observe here, but at low lagging power factor loads, such effects may cause serious error. When I am going to measure for the low lagging power factor, means in terms of your LPF, okay, there these are somewhat serious errors are going to be occurring. How we can compensate that? Here is the point. These effects are compensated by providing a temperature shunt on the brake magnet. We are going to use the brake magnet in terms of a parallel circuit. A special magnetic materials such as mu temp. This mu temp is nothing but it is having the two alloys, that is nickel and iron soft ferromagnetic alloy. Okay, the construction materials what we are going to use is used for the shunt whose permeability decreases considerably as temperature increases. That's what the importance of mu temp. This provides the temperature compensation and does not allow the disc to rotate faster as temperature increases. This is about your temperature compensation. And the last one is a main speed adjustment. Main speed adjustment means for the disc what we have to do. Okay, the measurement of energy is dependent on the speed of the rotating disc. Yes, how much the speed is rotating, based on that only our energy is depending. For accurate measurement, the speed of the disc must be also appropriate. Yes, the speed of the meter can be adjusted by means of changing the effective radius of the braking magnet. We are going to do that. We are doing the change in the effective radius of the braking magnet. The disc what we are going to use, the radius should be what we are going to choose, it should be in an appropriate way. That's what the adjustment we are going to do here. Moving of the braking magnet in the direction of the spindle, means the spin how it is going for, decreases the value of the effective radius, decreasing the braking torque. This is going to be done. This increases the speed of the meter. When braking torque is reduced, means the speed of the meter is going to be increased. While the movement of the braking magnet in the outward direction, that is away from the center of the disc, then increases the radius. Radius is going to be increasing and decreasing the speed of the disc. The fine adjustment of the speed can be achieved by providing an additional flux diverters. Okay, this is how we are going to use by using we can do for the disc, so that it can measure the correct speed for the energy meter. These are all the 7 adjustments we are going for in the energy meter. Okay, this question it will be asking for 10 marks or else for 8 marks. It may ask for directly for 10 or else the part will be asking or else for the 8 marks. Depends on the question paper. Okay, we'll stop today's class. We'll continue in the next class. Answer for your attendance, only 4 members are there. Sachin is present. Is Sachin present?
Yes, ma'am.
Ishrat is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Why yesterday absent? Ishrat. Then Shaheen is present. Srishti is present.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Understood, right? It's a lengthy topic, so I took a full 1 hour only. Just go with the videos. I hope you cleared.